dangerous, but then the process of construction of nuclear power still contains fossil fuels and it emits a lot of amount of CO2. This 2011 examination of complete life cycle cost reveals that nuclear energy actually helps stroke global warming. Vast amounts of CO2 are generated by all fossil fuel powered drills, trucks, locomotives, and cargo ships involved in mining the ore and delivering it to refineries, enrichment facilities, power plants, and ultimately to a radioactive waste storage site. Also, they said that China's only using generation three reactors, which are the safest. But as my partner said before, everybody says the newest design is the safest. According to 2011, the problem is that the small numbers produced by this exercise is widely seen as complicated calculations, which is saying that even if you think the newest generation is the best, it's always has some kind of flaws that will cause some accidents to happen. Also, Chinese nuclear power plants cause high cancer rates in surrounding areas. In 2013, as China unveiled ambitious plans to double its nuclear power over the next several years, residents near the first nuclear facility have expressed concerns over health problems plaguing the village. In particular, a local doctor told the New Global Times that cancer rates in a particular local area are far above the national average. About 21 villagers ranging from age 18 to area all have cancer now, mostly related to the blood system. Also, most importantly, China can export fourth-generation nuclear power plant technology will erode U.S. nuclear power leadership. Daily 2013. HCN public relations spokesman speaking on condition that Allies says if the project is successful, the reactors technology and experiment can export it to other countries in the future. It will be a great boost to China's nuclear industry and a high percentage of equipment produced domestically instead of imported. Originally scheduled to land in 2011, the construction of Shida Bay and MBB was delayed after Fukushima, but October 2011, China's government reconsidered nuclear energy as its efforts to fulfill rising demands, putting Shida Bay projects through site checks and accident prevention and emergency management. Replacing fossil fuels with nuclear power is unsustainable. Science Daily 2008. Such large growth rate will require minor involvement in nuclear power efficiency. Otherwise, the new power plant will simply cannibalize the energy produced earlier by nuclear power plants. The energy required in mining and processing uranium ore is used in power plants have grown a huge amount of energy to operate and cannot be offset by power production in a high-growth scenario. In addition, nuclear power produces a lot of byproducts and directly heats the earth. Instead, a nuclear fuel cycle contributes to the greenhouse gas emissions. This would mean that if nuclear power were to take a major option over the 40 years or so, we would be in no better position in emissions and reliance single major source of energy as we are in today, given the enormous growth of nuclear required over that time scale. Nuclear power produces too many indirect emissions to solve global warming, Pierce 2012. This large growth of new nuclear energy must be used to supply the energy for future nuclear power plants rather than mitigating GHG emissions. In addition, the nuclear energy catalyst study has made the assumption that the supply of uranium among all other necessary elements would not be a limiting factor. This assumption benefits the scaling of the nuclear industry.
Time. Crossfire.
As in my contention from the Daily CEO U.S. Central Asia Biofuels, it has said that the fourth generation nuclear reactor that has been in testing in China can actually reuse enriched uranium, requires no enriched uranium, and will only be used from depleted uranium, which greatly diminishes nuclear waste output. How do you respond to that?
But as you said before, you only mentioned that China only uses generation 3. You said nothing about generation 4. But then even if you use generation 4 and you only use depleted uranium, you still need to use fossil fuels in the construction of your nuclear power plant.
How do you respond to the fact? How many people?
So it's
Oh, she's not gonna ask a question, so.
Well, okay, so even China only uses Generation 3 reactors, how do you ensure that Generation 3 are safer than all the other ones?
In Generation 3, I'd like to also talk about how, where is it? Generation 3, as according to Xinhua News 2013, has added multiple safeguards, as it is a key project to facilitate becomes world's first commercial fourth-generation nuclear power plant that incorporates upgraded safety features, which will also include engineering, industrial, international levels.
Okay, that's enough.
This is my question. How many people actually die from nuclear? How many people die from nuclear radiation?
In China.
In China.
In China, people are starting to get cancer, which actually leads to people dying.
So, are you saying people haven't really died directly to the nuclear radiation in China?
It says that when you have like a nuclear power plant that's near a village or some kind of living place, it's more likely for people to die because of cancer and the nuclear waste that's released.
And how do you respond to the fact that 470,000 people die from air pollution?
Well, when you're building a nuclear power plant and when you're operating a nuclear power plant, it actually increases the carbon emissions and it will increase the pollution. So even if you use nuclear power, it still doesn't really help global warming because it keeps increasing the CO2.
But according to my
Time.